How I made $200,000 more per month for one of my US-based clients in a very short period of time after taking over their Facebook ads account. Today, I'm going to run you through a case study of how I applied some of the techniques that I'm teaching you on this channel into an account of a new client that I onboarded a couple of months ago, and how it has completely transformed their account and made them a whole load of money in the process. If you want to learn how to achieve similar results from your own ads in as little as 90 days, check out my full Facebook ads course in the description. It's called Ads Ace, and it's going to teach you everything you need to become a pro at Facebook ads. Anyway, let's get into the slides and go through the case study. Right, so here is the results for the revenue growth of the business. And you can see here I've got a graph for before, which was October. So in October, it was all another agency, and we took over active management on the 1st of November. And you can see they did $470,000 in October. Now, I put Black Friday in there, which was our first month, November obviously, but Black Friday, Cyber Monday, November is an anomaly because, you know, we're running sales. It's the best month of the year for anyone. You can't judge performance based on that because you're going to increase anyway, okay? So I'm going to come into that in a minute, but what I'm going to give you is the after, which is the last 30 days. So that's January 2024. How are we doing now? We're doing 596K. And, you know, that is the 200K increase, okay? So you can see here, there's a big spike in there before on one day, like a 75K day. What that is that's one big order for a B2B purchase that came via Shopify. So someone's gone and bought 75K worth of this product for their business, but that's coming via Shopify, and it's kind of pushing the results up and overinflating the actual performance of the marketing. The marketing without that included is about 400K. So 400K to the 600K, there's your $200,000 increase. But if we look at Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it's almost like a $300,000 increase in that very first month we took over. Yes, there is the sale, and Black Friday is always good, but this absolutely smashed their Black Friday from the year before. And the things that we've done in that first month that have then proceeded to compound in the next months that we're seeing now had a big effect in in November as well, okay? So I'm showing you here just for transparency. I didn't want to show you before and after of October, November, because, you know, you can't really show a difference with November. It is a month that just has massive revenue increase for everyone. And don't trust anyone that's just showing you stuff in November saying how well they did and look how they're scaling a graph, because everyone's graphs have the same pattern of going crazy at the end of November with the sale if you're running a promotion, okay? So that is the revenue growth, but revenue doesn't mean anything if you don't know what the ROI is. You know, we could have just been pumping up the spend and having terrible ROI on it, but that was not the case. So you can see here some before and after. So this is October, and this is January, the last 30 days. So you can see we've scaled up the revenue. You can see that in Shopify. With the actual Facebook ad performance, we're spending 75K in October, or the previous agency was, with a 3.2 ROAS and then a $64 CPA. So unfortunately, this is only Ads Manager. They didn't have a third-party tracking tool before we took over, so I can't show you any data before November. So just in the sake of comparing like with like, I'm showing you Ads Manager, but you know, if you watch my stuff, you know that Ads Manager is not really the true numbers, but it's a good way to compare like how things are looking like for like, okay? And then if you look at January, well, we've done 125K spend. That's giving us that increased revenue because we're scaling the account, but we still have a very similar ROAS, 3.2, you know, rounded up, and a better CPA. So even though they have the same ROAS, essentially, we've improved the CPA. Now, this is a brand that has many, many SKUs. So CPA is probably a better measure of how the ads actually doing at attracting new people. Fluctuate based on what people are actually purchasing. But we have to balance both, because the business is more making money in the front end. So they need to be getting the ROAS that they need to be getting. So what was the account set up before and what was it like after? So it had an ABO campaign with several interest audiences in the different ad sets, and then some ads in each. It had an ASC campaign of mixed ads going to the home page and also the best sellers page at some points too. And there was no customer cap on that ASC. They also had an ASC campaign with an evergreen promotion giving $20 off people's first purchase, and that had a 10% customer cap. They had a CBO cost cap campaign with a broad audience. And then they had an ASC of influencer whitelisting ads. And again, there was no customer cap on that ASC. So those campaigns are in order of the high spend to low spend. What did I do after? Well, I now have one CBO campaign with broad targeting, and we're advertising the top products, sending that traffic to the product listing pages. Okay, so exactly what I'm teaching you to do. I'm preaching it, and I'm doing it on a very high spend ad account for some people at least. Okay, the ad account's doing over 100K a month. Spend is a sizable ad account, and we've just got one campaign. So it shows you it works. Next thing is, what did we do? So I'm going to go through all the steps that we introduced and explain why they work, right? So step one was to consolidate the top ads. So we gathered the post IDs of the existing top ads, and we moved them into a low budget CBO campaign with broad targeting that we're then going to gradually scale up over time. So the reason we're doing this is to consolidate the account and make all the best ads compete against each other for the budget, because when they're competing in the same environment, only the true best ads are going to grab the budget. And we can say, yes, those are actually the best ads. If they're all running in different ad sets, working on different things, they might be getting all the spend from the particular ad set they're in, but they're only really the best ads when they're put side by side and they can act in the same environment. And we can go, hey, actually, this ad that looks great way off on its own, when we're pairing it with this other one and we're giving it, more spend, actually, it can't compete. Let's turn it off. It's just being inefficient, right? We then also cleaned up the ad comments. This is something I do whenever I take over any ad account, because no one else does this, and it makes a massive, not a massive difference, but it makes a significant difference to your performance of your ads. Is we went through and we audited the comments, hiding negative comments or comments that are promoting competitors. So this brand had quite a lot of comments, basically just people mentioning competitors that maybe had a better price or whatever, or said it was the same. Well, I don't want people to have that in their mind. I don't want them to have the curiosity to go off the ad and search for those other brands and investigate for themselves. I just want that taken away so they see the ad of our product, our client's product, and they go into their funnel, not someone else's. So hide all of them, and don't let that affect people's buying decisions. And that's a very, very easy way to improve the performance, because generally you'll get this on, if it's a good agency and they've kept the post IDs, like this one they did keep the post IDs. So there was hundreds of comments that I've gone through, but there was tons of bad comments that needed to be hidden and they weren't hiding them. So doing that has definitely helped it. And I recommend you always do that whenever you take over an account, but also do it on a regular basis because it will help keep your ads healthy. Step 3 was to identify revenue generating products. So this is something people don't do. I see it every single time. They don't have a clear strategy of what they're actually advertising for the best ROI in their business. Okay, so we ran a customer report and we analyzed the top 20% of first-time purchase products that then go on to lead to the most LTV. So if you just look at the top 20% revenue products, that is a good way of doing it as well. That is a completely fine way. You can do that. But if you want to get really technical, you want to look at the stuff that's actually the top products for the first time purchase, but that actually lead to the highest LTV, because it might not be the same products, right? So what we're doing that is to see what is efficient to advertise and what has the highest market demand. If it's their most popular products, if it's the products that are generating the most revenue, that's suggesting that when people come on their website, that is the stuff that they're interested in. It has the highest market demand. So we can therefore generate the most ROI on our ad spend. With that, we can attract customers with those products. And if we want to promote our other products to those people, we can do that via cheaper methods like email, like Google, like your organic social, whatever, right? Step number 4 was to analyze the existing creatives or existing top creatives. So we analyzed the top creatives to understand why they worked. And then we went to request similar creatives as those top performing ones, but featuring the top products that we have then selected. So I chose 3 top products from the 20% of the revenue generating products and said, let's focus on these 3 to start and let's make creatives around them. So creatives don't just perform by chance. There's always going to be something in the top performing creatives that have led to them being those top performing creatives for that particular audience. And it's going to vary between accounts, it's going to vary between product, market, all those different things. There'll be different trends in the accounts. So if you can go in and find the top performing ads, you already have an idea of what is working for them, whether that's the format, whether it's the type of messaging, what they're actually saying, the advertising, like whatever it is in that creative. You can see that, and if they have multiple top performing creatives, you can see if there's any trends and go, hey, there's some consensus here that, you know, all the top ads are images and they're showing people, well, hey, there's a learning. That's actually something that probably works in this account. Let's use that to make new creatives following that process, rather than going, hey, let's just look at competitors and copy competitors. Because I do recommend you do that, but the thing that's really going to make your account work straight away is getting the data from within the actual account you're running, because they're all going to be different. And that's obviously going to lead to an increased chance in our ads actually performing from the get-go. Step number 5 was to test new strategically made ads. So we began testing new creatives in the CBO campaign with existing top performing copy, and we directed it to the relevant product page of the product being shown in each of those creatives. So remember I said at the start before, they were just sending stuff to the best sellers or the homepage. You know, that's great if you're trying to advertise general things. If you want to really get strategic, it's best to show them, to send traffic to the actual products that you're trying to sell. Best case is doing it to actually custom sales landing pages. This brand does not have that as yet. They were just sending it to, or they would just have their standard product listing pages on Shopify. In the future, we'll get them making custom landing pages, because that really is the gold when you're trying to get higher conversion rates, right? So testing in the CBO means creatives have to earn spend. The algorithm's only going to give spend to the creatives that are better than the current ads we're running. So we're going to waste less budget by testing this way on testing stuff that just doesn't work with a defined budget. We're just letting the algorithm decide, is this worthy of gathering my spend? And then finally, we gradually paused their old stuff. So gradually pausing their existing ads, then ad sets, then campaigns, as and when each level dropped off. So the first thing that's going to go is individual ads. Then once you've lost a couple of ads, you're going to go and pause the ad sets. Remember, they're doing like an interest campaign with different ad sets. So paused a couple ad sets one at a time, and then finally got to pause their campaigns, to finally, after 3 months, get to the period where we're just running our campaign. All those old campaigns have been paused. The reason for this is Meta uses machine learning, and even the bad stuff is going to have a lot of data, a lot of learnings behind it, and won't necessarily be beaten straight away by better practices, by a better structure. So if you don't see immediate changes by implementing the things I'm teaching, that's because you have all that machine learning data. You have to trust in the process and just give it a bit of time, and you'll start to see monumental results, right? These things take time. So to maintain performance, you have to transition gradually. You create your thing on the side, and you gradually turn off those other things as you start to see performance from that new thing you've created. And you can start to transition that budget towards it and eventually scale past what you were doing before. So I just want to finish off by showing you a quote from this company, this client. So after 3 months of working with them, they've said, our old agency was like a horse and buggy, and you guys are flying in outer space. You know, there is levels to Facebook ads. There is so many bad quality people and bad quality agencies out there. This is a client spending a lot of money. Their previous agency weren't cheap, and they were still rubbish, okay? So the things I am teaching you can really, really improve your performance for clients or for your own brand. And it's very, very simple when you know what you're doing. So just keep that in mind. You know, there always is a way. You can always be better. And if you are better, if you're working with clients, you can afford to charge more. Or if you're running your own brand, you're going to make more by improving your knowledge of these ads. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, share with a friend to help the channel grow. And if you have anything you need help with, leave it in the comments and I will happily answer it.